This is Dr. Brian Scott with you. We are finishing up another really powerful week of insight to the end times. We're living in the last days. And even on Twitter, we're seeing things that we've been studying here in Insights trending. And that means that they are on people's minds. Words like the rapture, the tribulation, Armageddon, those things have been trending lately because a lot of people all across all categories are talking about it, thinking about it, wondering where we are on God's timetable. We're in Matthew chapter 24. And in Matthew chapter 24, Jesus is answering this question that was asked of him by the disciples, his disciples. When will these things be? What will be the sign of your coming? And what will be the sign of the end of the age? And he's answered that with several things. I'm in verse number 9 today and a couple of subsequent verses. But in 9 it says, he forewarns them, you will be hated by all nations for my name's sake. So we could paraphrase that by saying Christianity is going to become hated all around the world. Verse 10, many will be offended, many will betray one another, and many will hate one another. And then many false prophets will rise up and deceive many. Well, I'm going to focus today on verse 9 and 10 and give you some insight there. Probably continue tomorrow and hopefully finish it tomorrow. But we are in the last years of the 2,000-year church age. I explained that earlier this week, how 6,000 years of earth life, 1,000 years of Jesus Christ ruling and reigning on the earth. This may be new to you, but this is all Bible. And the Bible is the same yesterday, today, and forever. And in the Bible, Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man comes unto the Father except by me. He also said he's the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. Interesting concepts there. But we're in these last days. The church age is a 2,000-year period at the tail end of the 6 days of creation or 6,000 years of life on earth. We are getting close to the end. If we assume that it began on the death of Jesus and his ascension into heaven, his resurrection into heaven, that occurred in 30 AD. We're in 2022 AD. If you add 2,000 to that 30, we get 2030. I'm not trying to tell you that's where we are in terms of we're right at the very end, but I know we're close. Why? Because the signs tell us that in the scriptures, all kinds of them. This is episode 191 that we have shared with people. And in these previous episodes, over 190 of them, we've been looking at biblical verses that show us signs of the end. So here we are. Today I want to talk about this falling away, because it says that we're going to be hated. We're going to see people offended, betraying, and hating. What's this all about? It's called apostasy. It means the falling away from the truth. It means a defection away from the faith. We're in the midst of that right now. Verse 10, many will be offended, many will be repelled, and many will begin to hate one another. Now that's the New King James Version. In the Amplified Version, it says, many will be offended, and they will be repelled, and they will begin to distrust and desert him whom they ought to trust and obey. So that not only would include Jesus, obviously, as the highest level, but it would also include those who are speaking truth to you, hopefully in your church, your preacher, your pastor, your minister. And they will stumble, and they will fall away, and they'll betray one another, and they will pursue one another with hatred. Boy, that sounds like the newspaper every morning of the week. We see people offended, lawsuits. We see people who are distrusting and betraying one another, and then we see people who hate one another. There's a huge falling away occurring in our society today, and I just wanted to share with you that these things don't occur immediately or instantly. They are trends that begin working and developing, and they begin developing a long time ago. Have you heard the expression overnight sensation? overnight success. That company, that individual, he's an overnight success. She's an overnight sensation. If you study their history, you'll find that they've been about 20 years going through the challenges and the bumps and the hurdles of life, overcoming, continually overcoming, working hard, working long. And after 20 years of hard, dedicated, committed work, guess what? They become an overnight sensation. They become an overnight success. Trends begin years and years ago, and these trends begin to develop. We're seeing a great falling away today. We shared it about our churches. The practicing Christian group has fallen from 45% of the population to 25% of the population. The non-practicing and the non-Christian groups have grown to 75% of the population. That's a trend that's not a good trend, but it's what's going on. It's called the apostasy. And tomorrow I want to share some more with you in terms of events, things that I remember that show how this has been developing over the years. Why? We are in the last of the last days. We are getting close to the very end. We're going to see things happen here that we don't want to be part of. We want to be out of here. I'll see you tomorrow. God, you're blessed. Amen.